Today we're going to be testing out the Cardo Packtalk Outdoors, which is the ultimate mesh network hands-free wireless communication platform designed to help you enjoy the great outdoors when you're doing activities like skiing, snowboarding, biking, riding motorcycles, and even hiking. And in this video we'll be putting them to the test to see what they can do and can't do, and whether or not this is actually a good setup for you. And I've tested out a bunch of different radios in the past, but never ones that use mesh network, so it'll be really interesting to see how well they work. Before we dive in, be sure to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I also want to thank Cardo for sending these out to the channel for review. And if you want to support this channel and pick up the Packtalk Outdoors, you can pick them up using the affiliate link down in the description below. The Cardo Packtalk is incredibly small, and here's a quick look at how it compares in size to a traditional license-free FRS walkie-talkie. And as you can see, the Packtalk is a heck of a lot more small, and it's designed for hands-free use right out of the box. The mesh network communication from Cardo does provide a really good level of security because the devices have to be paired in order to communicate with each other. So if you're concerned about privacy, these might offer more security compared to using common radio frequencies like you're more likely to find on traditional radios. It comes with these JBL speakers, and the sound quality on these speakers is definitely top notch. A USB-C to 3.5mm adapter, which you can use to plug in your own headphones and a mic, a cradle for the device with a V-strap which you can use to mount it, and also a glue mount which you can use to mount the Packtalk to a helmet, and finally a variety of Velcro pads to help you mount the device and organize the cables. The Packtalk Outdoors is very compact, and on the front there's a few different buttons which are going to help you navigate the UI, which overall is pretty simple and straightforward to get the hang of, and it's about as complicated as your typical two-way radio setup. This device does support USB-C charging and is IP67 rated, so you'll be able to handle rain, snow, mud, or dust with no problem. There's a built-in battery on the device, and you should be able to get about 10 hours of talk time and up to 10 days of standby time, which is very impressive and better than most walkie-talkies that I've used in the past. The device is a wireless hands-free intercom, and it's voice activated, so you don't need to worry about pushing any buttons to communicate, and they speak to each other using dynamic mesh communication, which is a networking technology that creates connection between units and actively seeks to connect to other units to improve the range and the quality between the connected units. Each user can send and receive signals to overcome obstacles, and more users means a larger range for the whole group. When I tested these out, I was quite impressed by the quality of the audio, at close ranges especially. Conversations are crystal clear, and in addition to being good for communication with others, you can also connect this device to your phone and use it to make phone calls and listen to music with the device via Bluetooth. Cardo claims that you can get up to 1 kilometer or 0.6 mile range between two users, or up to 3 kilometers or 5 miles for a whole group under ideal conditions. But I was only able to test these out in an urban environment, and in order to test them, put one unit on top of my car and I skated down the street to see how far I could go while maintaining a good connection and line of sight. In this test, the quality of the connection worked really well up to about 800 feet or 0.16 miles. But beyond that, the connection started to weaken very dramatically, and it became completely inaudible a few feet beyond that. One thing to keep in mind is that there were power lines, which could have negatively impacted the connection, and another test I performed had a small building between the two devices, and we were unable to communicate through the building, but I was able to communicate at further distances when the building was not in between us. Now I'll leave you with my final thoughts on the Cardo Packtalk Outdoors to help you decide if these are a good option for you. I do think these devices are a great option for those of you who need hands-free close-range communication, who want to be able to integrate with their phones so that they can make calls, enjoy their music, and communicate with a small group of people. The Packtalk Outdoors is incredibly compact, the battery life is great, and the sound quality is exceptional, and they're great for those of you that like cutting-edge technology, and I could see them being great for winter sports, biking, motorcycles, dirt bikers, and even hikers. I wouldn't recommend these to people who plan to rely on them for longer range or critically important communication, or if you plan to operate them in an area with poor line of sight, as these devices are pretty susceptible to interference, which does impact the performance significantly, and I'd probably recommend at least an FRS radio in those types of circumstances. But if you do plan on having pretty much uninterrupted line of sight or multiple devices operating simultaneously to strengthen the network, then I can definitely see Cardo's tested range claims being more similar to what you'd be likely to experience. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Cardo Packtalk Outdoors down in the comments below, and if you want to pick these up, you can find links down in the description.